My name is Max Carson. I'm a seminarian for the Diocese of Des Moines, and I study at the North American College here in Rome, taking classes at the Angelicum here. The Blessed Mother, she is the all-loving mother. So I kind of picture her as my mom, like my earthly mom. I'll picture my earthly mom as this woman who is more all-knowing than my earthly mom is, who is like more loving than my earthly mom is. And my earthly mom, she is very compassionate, very loving. She always notices when I'm sick. That's one of the things I think about, like with the Blessed Mother. She always knows when I'm sick and I need help. Like picture you're a little kid, and it's always better to have your mom around when you're sick laying in bed. And I mean, that's kind of like we're sick with original sin. Like as Pope Francis says, we are in a field hospital. That's what the church is on earth. And it's just better, when you're in the hospital, it's just better if your mom is there. And I've always noticed that with my mother. And so I kind of just take that knowledge and apply that to the Blessed Mother to make it more relatable to myself. The Rosary helps me orient my mind and heart towards her to get to Jesus. So I usually tell my mother, the Blessed Mother, okay, I'm going to be distracted a lot during the Rosary. And I just want you to take all these distractions during the Rosary and give them to Jesus, because it'll be hard for me to focus on the mysteries, like the whole 25 minutes, however long it takes. And so, like with that, moms always want to know what their kids are thinking about. So I figured she'll be okay with my distractions as long as they go to her and she knows my intention of them going to her to go to Jesus. So. It's worth the effort because you're at least making that effort to be in communication with the Blessed Mother. Like she can see you making the effort even though she sees you get distracted sometimes and like fall away, but she knows that you're trying, and that kind of opens the door for her to come and act in your life. And so, yeah, I just notice every day I pray the Rosary, I can see the Blessed Mother working more and more in my life than if I didn't pray the Rosary. One of my favorite that comes to mind right now is the coronation of the Blessed Mother, because it's kind of like she finally gets what God has prepared for her. God has been preparing her this whole time to be the Queen of Heaven, the Queen of Angels, the Queen of Earth. And finally she gets to heaven and she can see her Son again fully glorified. Like I can't imagine the joy she would be feeling at that time. So it's when the Blessed Mother is finally with her Son in her right spot, to be the instrument that God has made her to be since from the beginning. Yeah, so I haven't always prayed the Rosary, especially when I was younger, because yeah, it would take a long time and it was boring, and whenever I would like spin around my finger, my mom would yell at me to stop doing that. And I was like, okay, you can't have fun during the Rosary either. So it was really hard for me to get into it. But once I started discerning the call to priesthood in high school, that's when I noticed I needed the Blessed Mother. And the Rosary was just that channel to be in constant communication with her. And so that's what, the call to the priesthood is what really got me habituated to communicating with the Blessed Mother through the Rosary. I think it's great for families to play the Rosary together, because one, praying by yourself, yes, it's easier to get distracted and whatnot, but as it's said before, families that pray together stay together. And I've seen that in my own family. And you can tell the difference between families that pray together and families that don't. There is just a common thought process, a common way of life with the family. And then so giving the whole family to the Blessed Mother is just the best way to do it. She'll take care of the whole family as a whole. So some people say the Rosary is really boring, and at times it can be, but it's not because the Rosary is boring, it's because we can be boring, because we tend to get in a worldly way of life, right? And the more we get sucked into that, the more we think the spiritual things are boring. But if we continually play the Rosary every day, it becomes more of a meditation, more of a relaxing prayer, more of an event. And yet, sometimes it will get boring, but just keeping that knowledge in the back of your head that this is how I'm communicating with the Blessed Mother right now, and this is how I can be in communication with her. sometimes we get so busy and we can't find a time to pray the Rosary. Well, the Blessed Mother can work with, not being in the chapel and praying the Rosary, but walking to work, walking to school, being in the car. Sometimes I'll pray the Rosary in the car when I'm at home, if I know I'm gonna have a busy day here and there, here and there. So it's the intention that the Blessed Mother sees with the Rosary, not so much I'm going to pray the Rosary this way in this place, and that the Blessed Mother will be more pleased with that than other things, but the intention behind it. Yeah, special graces through the Rosary, for me, have manifested themselves in many different ways. But one in particular is that I always know I have a better day. Like, the day is just smoother. Yeah, it'll have its challenges and stuff, but literally the other day, I was like, Blessed Mother, I don't have time to write these papers that I need to write for class. I just don't have any time. So I'm gonna pray this Rosary with the intention of you giving me the time to do that. And then so I prayed the Rosary, and my apostolate got canceled. And so 2 hours was given to me that day to do my paper. So things like that.